2 weeks ago on this channel, I released a video called Descendants, The Rise of Red is Just Weird. Movie Reaction Part 1. Now, I have never gotten such a, influx of comments as I did for this video. I'm not going to read any of them out verbatim, but a lot of people were basically saying this is an outrageous review of this film, or even just bearing in mind this was part 1 of this film. And people basically saying, oh, this is ridiculous, it's a really good film, it's enjoyable, this, that, the other. And at the start of that video, I kind of voiced some of my problems with the earlier Descendants films as well. Now, part 2 isn't out yet. It's edited, I just don't like the way that me and Parker came across in it. I think, bearing in mind that was a first watch, maybe it's not wise to be doing first watch reactions. I've thought this for a while, but I don't know. So what I thought I'd rather do is actually just say my thoughts on Descendants: The Rise of Red, and then if you guys would like to genuinely see my first reaction to the second half of that film, let me know in the comments and I will upload it. I just don't know whether I want to yet. We're talking about 3 major parts of this film, that being the songs, the plot, and the characters. Those, to me, are the 3 main points of really any musical film. But of course we will also be mentioning world building, originality, all of that sort of stuff in there. Let's start with characters. The 3 Descendants films follow 4 characters: Mal, Evie, Jay, and Carlos. The children of Maleficent, the evil queen Jafar, and Cruella de Vil. That is the plot of the first film. We see them moving to Auradon, and they continue into the second and third film. Yes, characters coming in and out like Uma and Gil, Harry Hook, Audrey, Chad, Dopey's son, what's his name, Doug. But it all centres around those 4. Now, Carlos, is actor Cameron Boyce, sadly passed away. It feels like very recently, but it was quite a while ago now. And that kind of put the Descendants films on a hold. And I think a lot of people were saying, well then let's not do a Descendants film. Without Cameron Boyce, I don't think we should do it. But they've done a Descendants 4. And it focuses on new people, which I don't think is a bad choice. I've seen people saying that's the first thing that ruined this film. That's the first place it went wrong. And I don't think that's actually true. I think centering this 4th film on completely different characters is probably the best thing to do. We've really run these 4 characters from the first 3 films into the mud. We kind of know who they are. They've been on a journey. There is nowhere for them to go now. So I am kind of happy we took a new direction. But I'm not happy with the direction we did take, if that makes sense. The main characters of this film would be Red, who is daughter of the evil queen, Chloe, daughter of Cinderella, and the evil queen. Those are the 4, because there's time travel involved. I mean, Maddox Hatter gets involved at some point, obviously son of Mad Hatter. You've got Merlin, the head teacher of Merlin Academy, or I think that's what it's called. Fairy Godmother's in it, Uma's in it. Umalana is in it. Ursula's sister, Umalana. I think she's called Umalana. I don't really know. Either way, you've got a whole new roster of characters, bar 1 or 2, that come back. And that is fine. Look, characters, good. That's fine. New characters, new actors, let's go. Love that. The problem really comes when we look at the relationships and the central themes to these characters. Let's take our main character, Red. I mean, it's called Rise of Red. If you're telling me Red isn't the main character, you could argue Chloe is as well, but it's definitely Red, isn't it? Let's look at her relationship with the Queen of Hearts. It's very similar, if not identical, to that of Mal and Maleficent in the first film. Mal wanted more than just evilness, and Maleficent said, no, no evilness. Evil Queen wants no evilness, and Red is going, please, let's do other stuff other than evil. Red gets invited to Auradon, and the Queen of Hearts goes, oh, I can use that to take everything over. Mal gets invited to Auradon to study. Maleficent goes, oh, we can use that to take over and steal the wand. It's the same plot. Yes, there are differences, of course. But the main idea, and they do time travel and all that shit, but the main catalyst for this film is exactly the same as the first film, and that's my first and really big problem, is that it's just dull. The whole point in Descendants 2 was Uma getting upset that her and her mates weren't chosen to go to Auradon, and it was just the 4 characters we know, and that's fine, I guess, but it's still original enough. I mean, the third one, to me, is a bit of a mess. I'm happy to do a deep dive on each film, but just quickly now, I think the third one is a bit of a mess, but that's a different video for a different day. But they all still have fairly original, cohesive plots. The fourth one just felt like a rehashing. It felt like a weird reboot of the first Descendants film. To me, anyway. Also feels like a very good time to preface that I'm fully aware that I am no longer the target market for a Descendants film. When the first one came out, I was closer to their target market. I was watching Disney Channel. I was involved in that. Now, as a 22-year-old man, maybe I'm not the target market for a Descendants sequel. But I'm still allowed to critique it, because I love critiquing things. So that's my character issues and most of my plot issues. We will come back onto plot later on, sort of intertwined with songs and originality and all that other stuff. Songs, I've had a problem with the music in Descendants since Descendants 3 and a few of Descendants 2 songs. I loved the first Descendants film and the music in it because it was musical theatre inspired. I mean, Evil Like Me is, I think, one of the best examples of a musical theatre-y song from Descendants. It's so good. It works with the film and with a musical theatre theme. My most important point here with the songs is that in the original film, they are there to move the story along. Without those songs, the film wouldn't work. Take out Evil Like Me. That is so pivotal to their relationship. Take out Did I Mention? You don't see that side to Ben where he flips and everyone's like, what's going on now? I mean, there are songs like If Only. I don't mind If Only, but it is still quite a Broadway ballady song. It's slightly going into pop, but still enough in the musical theatre genre that I think it works. I mean, going into Descendants 2, you've got maybe slightly more poppy with Ways to Be Wicked and What's My Name, but there's still essence. They're clearly trying to gear it still now towards the pop scene, but are still going, but we still understand this is a movie musical. Chillin' Like a Villain, It's Going Down, and You and Me, in my opinion, are very reminiscent of that Descendants 1 song feel, where they're very, this is musical theatre, this is a musical film, let's do it. We've got musical actors, so let's make sure we're doing musical songs and not just pop songs for no reason. They all fit the film, they all move it along, and they matter. That's my point, is the songs in the first 3 Descendants films matter to the film. Descendants 3, again, I've said I'm not a big fan of, but I still think a lot of these songs work. Queen of Mean, I think, really works for what it does. Do What You Gotta Do. One of my favourite songs from Descendants as a whole. One Kiss, I think, slightly poppy, but still works. Descendants 4, I don't think... I'm going to get the soundtrack up now, but I cannot think off the top of my head of any that I went, yeah, okay, they're playing with the musical theatre vibes again. I mean, yeah, it's the one that comes to my mind is Love Ain't It. It's just weird. It feels like the whole point of hiring Rita Ora. It just feels like we're doing a movie musical. Let's make sure these songs sell. Not to the musical fans, but to the generic pop fans. Let's not put any heart and soul. Let's just go, this is pop music. And that might make me sound like an old man, or a pretentious wanker, or both. But to me, the songs in the fourth film felt very generic. Very copy and paste. Could have been any old shit. We've got Rita Ora. Yeah, sure. That works. Although the one where Chloe and Red first time travel and they're having a fight trying to get the watch back, I quite liked the latter half of that song. I think that really worked. But for the most part, the songs do this. And Descendants Rise of Red is the pinnacle of that. Another thing I really want to talk about before we tie this video up nicely is continuity and like plot holes, and how a lot of the parts of this film I felt like didn't match Descendants lore, and we spoke a bit about it in the first video, so if you haven't watched that yet, I will link it up there and at the end of the video so you can go and watch me and Parker react to the first half. And like I said, if you want the second half, let me know and I will post it. I'm not too happy with how it's turned out, to be honest. But yes, continuity and plot holes and stuff. Time travel's always a worry in films because it's difficult to get right. I think in films that exist because of, like, say, Back to the Future, that film is always centered around time travel. There was never a moment where Back to the Future didn't involve time travel. Descendants, the first 3 films, nothing. 4th film, time travel. That's where I think we get trouble, when we introduce time travel into a film that, up until that point, has had no mention or experience of it. And I think there's ages that don't line up. I think the bit that confused me, the big bit we spoke about, was Jasmine and Aladdin are together in this film. Does that mean their fairy tale has happened? I don't know. Like, how does this work? Because we see them in Descendants, in the first Descendants. Or was it the third one? I don't know. I'm confused about the timeline there. Like, but they're high school, and what age were they flying around on carpets? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. There's a lot of it that I don't quite understand. Just in general, the whole group, like Umalana's group, why those people? I don't mind it. But there are mentions in Descendants too of people that Uma's mum, Ursula, knew that then aren't in this film, and it's all very strange. I don't think doing time travel works, and I'm explaining it badly now. Go and watch the video, and we do have a bit of what's going on. What? Because I think there were moments where... and is that thinking too much into it? I mean, maybe. Am I thinking too much into Descendants, The Rise of Red? I've just had an awakening. Maybe I am just thinking too much. It's a Disney Channel original movie. And it's not even that because they've been cancelled. I'm thinking so much into this. What a waste of 15 minutes. It's just a film. A Disney original, Disney Plus, based on a Disney Channel original movie franchise film. Why am I thinking so much? I'm sorry. What a waste of my life. That was a 15-minute recording. I don't know how long the video is. Oh, Christ. Well, if you want to see part 1 of our reaction, go up there. If you want to see part 2, let me know in the comments below and I will release it. Sorry for the 2-week hiatus on the channel. Busy life, doing a show, moving, still trying to move. Working, yeah, well, that's a way. Love ain't it.